I had to lie about being pregnant to make you stay," she yelled, after I caught her figuring things out with her coworker. So I walked out. Now he exposed her, she's ruined, and I told her to get lost. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. This whole saga still feels like a bad dream, even months later. I'm posting here because I need to get it off my chest, and maybe it'll help someone else spot the red flags I missed. I'm a 32-year-old guy, work in tech support for a mid-sized company, nothing flashy but steady. I've always been the reliable type, pay the bills on time, plan for the future, that kind of thing. About 3 years ago, I met Emily at a mutual friend's barbecue. She was vibrant, outgoing, the kind of person who lights up a room. We hit it off, started dating, and within a year, we were living together in a cozy apartment downtown. From the start, I was all in. Emily worked in marketing at a bustling ad firm, and her job was high stress, long hours, tight deadlines, constant networking events. I supported her through it all. I'd cook dinner when she got home late, listened to her vent about difficult clients, even helped her prep for presentations on weekends. Looking back, there was this one time early on when she was up for a promotion. She was burning out, so I took a week off work to handle everything at home, groceries, laundry, even walking her dog so she could focus. I turned down an out-of-town training opportunity that could have boosted my own career because I didn't want to leave her during that crunch. That's how committed I was. I thought we were building something real, a partnership where we had each other's backs. But about 6 months ago, things got rocky. Emily started pulling away. She'd come home irritated, snap at small things like how I loaded the dishwasher or forgot to pick up milk. Our conversations turned into arguments over nothing. I noticed she was spending more time on her phone, laughing at messages when she thought I wasn't looking. She'd stay out late with coworkers, claiming team-building drinks or client dinners. I tried to address it, suggested couples counseling, planned a weekend getaway to reconnect. But she brushed it off, saying I was being too clingy or overthinking. One night, after a particularly bad fight where she accused me of not supporting her ambitions enough, I told her straight up, if things don't change, I might need to step back and figure out what's best for me. I wasn't yelling or threatening. I was just honest. She went quiet, and for a few days, it seemed like she was trying harder, more affectionate, initiating date nights. I thought we'd turned a corner. Then, about 2 weeks after that conversation, she sat me down on the couch after work. Her face was serious, almost tearful. "Alex," she said, taking my hand, "I'm pregnant." My world stopped. A baby? We hadn't planned it, but in that moment, all the doubts faded. I hugged her, promised I'd be there every step. We talked about names, how we'd rearrange the apartment for a nursery. I started researching prenatal classes, bought vitamins, even scheduled her first doctor's appointment. For the next few weeks, I was in full dad mode, cutting back on caffeine with her, making sure she rested. But something felt off. She avoided showing me any test results or ultrasound pics, saying she wanted to surprise me at the appointment. Her mood swings were intense, and those late nights at work didn't stop. I'd wake up to an empty bed, her slipping in at 2 a.m. smelling like wine, which she laughed off as non-alcoholic for the baby. I chalked it up to pregnancy hormones, but the distance grew. She started comparing me to her coworkers in little digs. Mark from Creative is so driven. He just landed a huge account. It stung, but I swallowed it, thinking about our future family. How could I walk away now? That's what she was counting on, I realize now. The lie held me there, trapped in a web of false hope, while she sorted out whatever was really going on. I still can't wrap my head around how calculated it was. I gave up so much in those weeks, skipped gym sessions to be home for her, put my own frustrations on hold, all for a phantom child that never existed. The truth hit like a freight train about a month into this charade. It was a Saturday morning. Emily had miscarried the week before, or so she claimed. She'd come home from work one evening, sobbing, saying she'd lost the baby. I held her all night, whispered reassurances, even took time off to grieve with her. We didn't go to the doctor. She said it happened suddenly, and she handled it alone to spare me the pain. I was devastated, questioning everything. What if it was stress from our fights? I blamed myself a little, vowing to be better. But as the days passed, her grief seemed performative. She'd cry 1 minute, then scroll through her phone smiling the next. That morning, she was in the shower, and her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping. Honestly, I was just moving it to plug in my own charger. But a message preview popped up from Mark Work. Babe, that pregnancy story was genius. Kept him hooked while we figured us out. Dinner tonight. My stomach dropped. I unlocked it, stupidly easy, same pin as always, and scrolled. Text going back months. Flirty at first, then explicit. Photos, plans to meet up during those late nights. And the kicker, discussions about the fake pregnancy. I told him I'm pregnant, lol, she wrote. Buys me time till you leave your GF. Mark replied with laughing emojis. You're savage. Love it. I felt numb. The apartment spun. All those weeks of excitement, the plans, the sacrifices, poof, gone. It wasn't a miscarriage. There was never a baby. She'd invented it to manipulate me, to keep me from leaving while she pursued this guy from her office. I sat there, staring at the screen, piecing it together. The comparisons to Mark weren't random. He was the affair partner. She'd been emotionally abandoning me for him, using me as a safety net. The disrespect hit hardest, treating me like a fool, smug in her deception. When she stepped out of the bathroom, towel around her, I didn't yell. I just held up the phone. Explain this. Her face went pale, but then it shifted, not to remorse, but defiance. She snatched the phone, eyes narrowing. You went through my stuff? That's an invasion of privacy. Privacy, I said evenly, my voice steady despite the rage boiling inside. You lied about a pregnancy. About our child. While screwing around with Mark, she crossed her arms, leaning against the doorframe like this was just another argument. Okay, fine. It wasn't real. But I had to do something to make you stay. You were being so distant, talking about leaving. What was I supposed to do? Tell me you wouldn't have left if you thought I was carrying your child. I stared at her, the words sinking in. She wasn't sorry. She was justifying it. Twisting the logic like it was my fault for forcing her hand. So your solution was to fake a life-changing event? To manipulate me while you figured out your side piece. Mark isn't a side piece, she snapped, her tone smug now, like she'd won some point. He's exciting. Ambitious. He pushes me to be better, unlike you with your safe little routine. I needed time to see if it was real with him. The pregnancy thing, it was just a white lie. People do stuff like that all the time to save relationships. And look, it worked. We were closer those weeks, weren't we? You were so attentive. Her hypocrisy floored me. Calling it a white lie, like faking a baby, was no big deal. Blaming my distance, when she'd been the one pulling away. And that smug edge, like she was proud of her cleverness. Closer? It was all built on bullshit. You used me as a backup while testing the waters with him. That's not love. That's cowardice. She rolled her eyes, actually rolled them. Oh, please. Grow up, Alex. Relationships aren't fairy tales. I did what I had to. If you're so hurt, maybe you should have been more exciting. Mark gets that. He's not afraid to take risks. There it was, the dismissal, the disrespect. Comparing me to him right to my face, like I was beneath her now. Her logic was so twisted, excusing betrayal as necessity, painting me as the boring villain. I could have screamed, begged for answers, but what was the point? She wasn't the person I thought she was. Instead, I stood up, grabbed my duffel bag from the closet, and started packing essentials, clothes, laptop, keys. She watched, her smugness cracking a bit. What are you doing? Leaving, I said calmly, zipping the bag. This is done. You can't just walk out. We need to talk about this. I slung the bag over my shoulder, meeting her eyes one last time. There's nothing left to say. Enjoy your risks with Mark. She huffed, crossing her arms tighter. Fine. Go. You'll come crawling back when you realize no one else will put up with your bland life. I didn't respond. Just walked out the door, got in my car, and drove to a hotel. No dramatic exit, no parting shots. The silence in the car was deafening. I pulled over once, hands shaking on the wheel, replaying her words. How could someone I loved do that? The confusion hit hard, the unfairness of it all. I'd given everything, only to be played. That night, alone in a sterile room, I let myself feel it. The grief for the future that never was, the anger at her manipulation. But I didn't call her. Didn't text. I just breathed through it, knowing I had to detach. The next day, I blocked her number temporarily, found a short-term rental, and started unraveling our shared life. Canceled joint accounts, arranged to pick up my stuff when she wasn't home. It was quiet, methodical, dignity over drama. The first few weeks after walking out were a blur of logistics and quiet reflection. I crashed at a buddy's place for a couple days, then signed a lease on a small studio apartment across town. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. No shared spaces tainted by lies. I threw myself into routine to keep the confusion at bay. Work during the day, gym in the evenings, therapy sessions twice a week. I'd never been big on counseling before, but unpacking that betrayal felt necessary. The therapist helped me see it clearly. Emily's manipulation wasn't about me. It was her toxicity spilling over. Still, the unfairness gnawed at me. Why me? I'd been loyal, sacrificed my own growth to prop her up. Flashback to last year. She was dealing with a toxic boss, on the verge of quitting. I encouraged her to stick it out, even role-played her performance review with her late into the night. All while she was probably already eyeing Mark. It made the silence heavier, those long nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how I missed the signs. I didn't reach out. No angry texts, no social media stalking. I unblocked her after a bit, mostly out of curiosity, I guess, but kept responses minimal if any came. Instead, I focused on rebuilding. Joined a local hiking group, started cooking meals I'd always wanted to try, even took an online course in coding to advance at work. Slowly, the vulnerability faded. The hurt was still there, like a bruise, but it didn't define me. I started feeling clearer, calmer. Life without her drama was peaceful. No more walking on eggshells, no more second-guessing her moods. Then karma started creeping in, piece by piece. I didn't seek it out. Mutual friends filled me in, unprompted. Apparently, things with Mark imploded fast. About a month after I left, Emily confessed the fake pregnancy to him during some argument. Maybe she thought it'd bond them, or something twisted like that. But Mark freaked, called her unstable, said he couldn't trust someone who'd pull that on their partner. He dumped her on the spot, no second chances. And he didn't keep it quiet. Word spread through the office like wildfire. Did you hear about Emily? Faked a whole pregnancy to trap her ex while cheating. Coworkers whispered in break rooms. Clients got wind during meetings. Her professional rep took a nosedive. People distanced themselves, seeing her as unreliable. The boss, who valued team integrity, transferred her to a dead-end department handling grunt work. No more creative campaigns or networking perks, just data entry and isolation. I heard she started unraveling after that. Showed up to work disheveled, missed deadlines. Friends said she was venting nonstop about how unfair it was, but even they pulled back when the full story emerged. One mutual acquaintance texted me, "Dude, she's a mess." That lie was next-level crazy. I didn't gloat, just nodded internally. It felt earned, ironic. She'd built her escape on deception, and now it buried her. Meanwhile, I was thriving in small ways. Landed a raise at work, dropped 15 pounds from consistent workouts, even went on a casual date or two. The emotional fog lifted. I was free. It didn't take long for the desperation to kick in, about 2 months post-breakup. At first, it was subtle, like she was testing the waters. A text popped up one evening while I was unwinding with a book. "Hey Alex, hope you're okay. Miss talking. Can we grab coffee?" I stared at it, feeling a flicker of that old confusion, but deleted it without replying. No point engaging. A few days later, another. "I know I messed up. Just want to apologize in person." Ignored that too. Then the call started. One night, my phone rang, her number. I let it go to voicemail. "Alex, please pick up." Her voice cracked through the speaker, a mix of pleading and frustration. "Things with Mark ended badly. I realize now what I had with you. The pregnancy thing. It was stupid, but I was scared of losing you. Can't we try again? I love you." Stupid? That was her downplaying it now. Hypocrisy at its finest, after defending it so smugly. I didn't call back, but she escalated. More texts. "Why are you ignoring me? This is childish." Then voicemails turning desperate. "I'm falling apart here. Work sucks. Friends are ghosting me. You were always my rock. Please, just talk to me." That's when she roped in her toxic circle. Her sister, who I'd never gotten along with, always judgmental, always stirring drama, messaged me on social media, "You're being a jerk, Alex. Emily's hurting bad. Man up and give her closure at least." Closure? Like she hadn't slammed that door herself. Then her parents called from a block number one Sunday morning. Her mom, "Alex, dear, we know she made mistakes, but family's family. She's learned her lesson. Come over for dinner, hash it out." Her dad chimed in gruffly, "Don't throw away 3 years over one slip-up. Be the bigger person." One slip-up? The dismissal boiled my blood, but I stayed composed. "Thanks for the concern," I replied curtly, "but I'm done. Please don't contact me again." Block them all. The attempts peaked about a week later. I was leaving work when I spotted her waiting by my car in the parking lot, eyes puffy, arms crossed. Her best friend hovered nearby, looking uncomfortable. Emily stepped forward as I approached. "Alex, wait. I drove all the way here. We need to talk." I unlocked the door without stopping. "No, we don't. Please," she begged, voice rising. "Mark was a mistake. He dumped me after I told him everything. Now everyone's treating me like a pariah at work. I got transferred. It's humiliating. I know I hurt you, but I was confused. The lie was out of love, to keep us together. Forgive me? We can start fresh." Her friend jumped in, tone unpleasant and accusatory. "Yeah, dude, she's sorry. What more do you want? Blood? Stop punishing her." Punishing? The power shift was clear. She'd gone from smug controller to desperate beggar, hypocrisy shining through as she reframed her betrayal as confusion. I met Emily's eyes, calm and detached. "You made your choices. Live with them." Got in the car and drove off, leaving her standing there. Her text that night turned angry. "Fine, be that way. You're heartless. You'll regret this." But by then, her words were just noise. I'd evolved, clear-headed, emotionally untethered from her chaos. Fast forward a few months, and I'd fully settled into my new rhythm. Work was going great. I'd been promoted to lead on a project, thanks to that coding course. Gym had become my sanctuary. I was there 5 days a week, building strength physically and mentally. Dating a woman named Sarah now, kind, straightforward, no games. Life felt solid, her irrelevance complete. I barely thought about Emily anymore, until she showed up at the gym one Tuesday evening. I was mid-workout on the treadmill, earbuds in, zoning out to a podcast. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her approach, disheveled hair, red-rimmed eyes, clutching her phone like a lifeline. The place was moderately busy, a few people glancing over. She waved awkwardly, mouthing my name. I kept running, not breaking stride, but pulled one earbud out. "Alex," she started, voice trembling with fake composure that cracked into tears. "I had to find you. Please, just 5 minutes. Everything's ruined. Mark spread the story, work demoted me. Even my family thinks I went too far. I'm alone, broke from therapy bills trying to fix myself. I see now you were the best thing I had. Take me back? I'll change, I swear." Her desperation hung in the air, a stark reversal from her breakup smugness. People nearby pretended not to listen, but the public setting amplified her humiliation. She wiped her eyes, waiting for sympathy that wasn't coming. I didn't slow the treadmill, just glanced at her flatly. "The only thing you ever carried was a lie. Get away from me before I have you trespassed." Her face crumpled, shock, then anger flashing. "How can you be so cold? After everything? I thought you loved me. Loved a version of you that didn't exist," I said bluntly, voice steady and disrespectful in its honesty. No sugarcoating. She didn't deserve it. I've built something real now. Peace, growth, a life without your bullshit. You're irrelevant. Go. She stood there a second longer, mouth agape, then turned and stormed out, muttering under her breath. I finished my run, feeling nothing but relief. No hate left, just indifference. She was a closed chapter, a lesson in self-worth. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.